As the rain pattered gently against the window, Angela curled up in her favorite armchair, cradling a warm cup of tea, her heart heavy with memories of a love that had once felt unbreakable. It had been nearly a year since her marriage ended, and the echoes of that heartache still haunted her, shadowing her every thought and making her question if she could ever find love again. But like the first blooms of spring after a long winter, hope began to emerge. With encouragement from friends, she tentatively stepped into the world of online dating, determined to rediscover who she was outside of the confines of a broken relationship. Enter Daniel, a charming and adventurous soul who dared her to dream again. Their dates were filled with laughter and shared passions, igniting a spark Angela thought she had lost forever. However, as their connection deepened, so did her fears. Past heartaches tugged at her heart, whispering doubts about whether love could truly flourish amidst vulnerability. Angela found herself at a crossroads. Could she let go of her insecurities and embrace the journey of love once more? Join Angela as she navigates the complexities of rediscovering herself, confronting her fears, and ultimately finding the beauty in a love that transcends past pain. This is a story of resilience, connection, and the art of rebuilding a heart that has learned to love again. The sound of rain drumming against the window was a familiar comfort to Angela. She sat in her favorite armchair, wrapped in a soft blanket with a steaming cup of herbal tea in her hands. Outside, the gray skies mirrored her mood, casting a gloomy shadow over the city. It had been nearly a year since her marriage ended, but the emotional toll still lingered, like an unwelcome guest refusing to leave. Angela's mind wandered back to those final weeks before the split. What began as a picturesque romance had soured into a bitter battle filled with overlooked complaints and unspoken resentments. Each fight was like a scratch on the surface of their once calm relationship, until one day she woke up and realized there was no foundation left to stand on. Love was supposed to feel warm and inviting, but instead, it had sunk into a cold silence that echoed discontent. After the divorce, Angela took a long hiatus from dating. Healing felt like a mountain she had to climb, one slow step at a time. Her friends encouraged her to get back out there, but the thought filled her with dread. How could she possibly put herself through the vulnerability of dating again? But as winter melted into spring and the world outside burst into color, Angela felt a flicker of hope ignite within her, a sign that perhaps she was ready to explore new possibilities. With a mixture of excitement and trepidation, she created an online dating profile. Her heart raced as she filled in her profile with details about her hobbies, interests, and the type of man she was looking for. In her profile photo, she wore a genuine smile, the sunlight casting a warm glow on her face as she stood on the beach, reflecting her desire for a new beginning. But a part of her hesitated, thinking of all the ways relationships could go wrong. A week later, she received a message from a man named Daniel. His profile caught her eye with its blend of humor and genuine sincerity. They exchanged a few messages, and before long, a date was set. Angela felt a flutter in her chest, a mixture of anticipation and fear. What if he wasn't who he claimed to be? What if she opened up only to be rejected again? It was a quaint little cafe in the heart of the city, decorated with potted plants and soft lighting. As she entered, her eyes scanned the room, and her heart raced when they landed on a tall figure who stood by the counter, a sheepish smile on his face as he waved at her. Daniel was even more attractive in person. He wore casual clothes that accentuated his athletic build, with tousled hair that offered a hint of boyish charm. "Hi, you must be Angela," he said, his voice warm and inviting. She returned the smile, feeling a mixture of nervousness and excitement. "And you must be Daniel." They settled into a cozy corner of the cafe, rich with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. With every passing moment, the tension began to dissolve, replaced by an easy conversation that flowed effortlessly between them. They shared stories about their lives, their careers, passions, and the quirky things they loved. Angela couldn't remember the last time she laughed so freely, feeling a sense of lightness she hadn't experienced in ages. As they were discussing their favorite travel destinations, Daniel leaned in closer, his eyes sparkling. "I've always wanted to travel to Japan during cherry blossom season. There's something magical about it, don't you think?" Angela nodded, captivated by his enthusiasm. "I've seen pictures, and it looks breathtaking. I've always dreamed of visiting Kyoto." The connection felt electric, and for the first time in a long while, Angela allowed herself to believe in the possibility of something beautiful on the horizon. As their date went on, she shared snippets of her life, recounting her love for painting and how art was a significant part of her healing process post-divorce. Daniel listened intently, offering encouragement and admiration for her talent. A few hours later, their coffee cups empty and the cafe's lively chatter fading as patrons left, Angela felt a pang of disappointment when she realized their time together was coming to an end. "Can I walk you to your car?" Daniel offered, standing up and smiling. "Sure, that would be nice," Angela replied, her heart skipping a beat. Outside, the sun was starting to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, casting a warm glow in the cooling air. The conversation continued effortlessly as they strolled down the bustling street, Daniel sharing funny anecdotes about his family and childhood. When they reached her car, the moment felt charged with possibilities. Daniel hesitated for a moment before taking a step closer. "I had a great time tonight, Angela. I'd love to see you again." Angela's heart fluttered, and she nodded eagerly. "I'd like that too." As they exchanged a quick hug, a thrill of excitement coursed through her. She drove home smiling, her thoughts swirling with hope and anticipation. This could be the beginning of something wonderful. Over the next few weeks, Angela and Daniel saw each other frequently, going on hikes, visiting art galleries, and trying out new restaurants. Angela found herself drawn to Daniel's kindness and passion for life. He was thoughtful, always remembering the little details she mentioned, whether it was her favorite flower or her go-to comfort food. But as their relationship deepened, so did Angela's insecurities. Memories of her past loomed over her like dark clouds. What if Daniel wasn't the man she thought he was? What if the patterns from her previous relationship repeated themselves, trapping her in another cycle of heartbreak? During one lazy afternoon at a park, while they shared a picnic, Angela's mind was elsewhere. Her laughter fading into silence, Daniel noticed and set down his sandwich. "Hey, what's going on? You seem a little distant." She hesitated before opening up. "I've been thinking a lot about my past. I really like you, but I'm scared. What if I get hurt again?" Daniel reached for her hand, his grip warm and reassuring. "It's okay to be scared, Angela. Trust takes time, but I'm here to show you that I'm different. I want to get to know the real you." His sincerity calmed her nerves. For the first time, Angela felt the weight of her past begin to lift, allowing room for the possibility of a brighter future. They continued to talk about their fears, and with each revelation, the vulnerability brought them closer together. Yet, as the months went by, Angela struggled with feelings of inadequacy that bubbled to the surface. Daniel embarked on new adventures, often mentioning spontaneous trips he wanted to take, and Angela felt a gnawing sense of guilt for not wanting the same things he did. He was full of dreams and aspirations, while she sometimes felt stuck in her own healing process. One evening, after a weekend of Daniel traveling for work, he returned with a flourish, bursting with excitement. "Angela, I just booked a last-minute trip to Mexico. I want you to come with me. It'll be an adventure." Angela forced a smile, but inside, doubt crept in. The idea of flying away with him felt overwhelming. "Oh, wow, that sounds amazing, but I don't know if I can. Traveling is really stressful for me, and I still have so much going on here." Daniel's enthusiasm dimmed slightly. "You don't have to worry about anything. I'll take care of the logistics. It'll be so much fun." Yet for Angela, the pressure to conform to his idea of fun intensified her anxiety. "I understand that it sounds fun for you, but I may need more time before jumping into something like that." Daniel's expression shifted, and for the first time, she noticed a hint of frustration in his eyes. "I just want to share some experiences together. I thought we were on the same page about living life to the fullest." The conversation took a sharp turn as Angela felt the walls she had built inside begin to close in. "It's not that I don't want to experience life with you. I just can't always match your energy." The disagreement lingered in the air, heavy with unspoken words. Over the next couple of weeks, communication became strained. Daniel seemed distant, and Angela felt the weight of her insecurities rise again. She longed to rebuild the connection they had, but every attempt felt like a failed effort, further pushing them apart. One evening, as they sat together in silence, watching a movie, Angela finally gathered the courage to speak up. "Daniel, I need to talk to you about what's been going on. I've been feeling overwhelmed. I want to be the adventurous person you see in me, but I'm struggling." Daniel turned to her, his expression softening. "I know this isn't easy for you, but I just want you to know that I'm here to support you, no matter where you're at in life. You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not." As the words sunk in, tears brimmed in Angela's eyes. "I'm afraid that if I can't keep up with your expectations, you'll lose interest in me." Daniel reached for her hand, intertwining their fingers. "You don't have to keep up with me. I appreciate you for who you are, with or without adventures. This isn't a race, Angela. I want to go on this journey together, at our own pace." In that moment, a wave of relief washed over her. They began to discuss their goals and dreams, acknowledging that relationships were not just about thrill-seeking. It was about growth, understanding, and accepting one another's vulnerabilities. Together, they carved out space to explore the depths of their connection. They visited local art exhibitions, attended cooking classes, and even started a small garden in her backyard. Angela poured her heart into her art, finding inspiration in the little moments they shared, and Daniel embraced the slower pace, nurturing their relationship without the pressure of grand adventures. As summer transitioned into fall, Angela found herself blossoming. With Daniel's support, she successfully organized an art show featuring her works, a culmination of her journey through pain and healing. Daniel was right by her side throughout the process, cheering her on every step of the way. The night of the event, as the gallery buzzed with excitement, Angela stood nervously by her paintings, her heart racing. People admired her work, their compliments filling the air and igniting a sense of pride within her. But it was Daniel's presence that grounded her. He stood nearby, his eyes sparkling with pride, showcasing the warmth he constantly offered. When the evening came to a close, Daniel pulled her aside, away from the chatter. "You were amazing tonight. I'm so proud of you." "Thank you for believing in me," she answered, feeling overwhelmed with gratitude. As they stepped outside under a starlit sky, Daniel took her hand and pulled her closer. "This is just the beginning, Angela. I believe in us." Encouraged by his words, Angela leaned in, capturing the moment with a tender kiss, filled with dreams yet to be realized and a promise of growth together. Time moved forward, and Angela learned not only to navigate her own fears, but to open her heart to the love she had almost let slip through her fingers. Their relationship was no longer a fragile balancing act. Instead, it blossomed into a partnership built on mutual support and respect. Days turned into months, and with each passing moment, they discovered more about each other, unveiling layers that had previously been hidden. Angela learned to embrace her vulnerability, while Daniel fostered an appreciation for stillness and reflection, both essential elements for cultivating love that withstands the test of time. But life, with all its unpredictability, soon presented a new challenge. Work pressures mounted for both Angela and Daniel as they faced the realities of their careers. Angela's art continued to gain recognition, and with that came increased responsibilities and tight deadlines. Daniel, too, was climbing the corporate ladder, often bringing work home and spending late nights at his job. Though they supported each other through busy schedules, the cracks that started forming were subtle yet undeniable. Without their usual downtime for laughter and connection, their conversations turned into logistical discussions rather than heartfelt dialogues. One night, Angela returned home late after a gallery meeting, her mind foggy from overthinking. She found Daniel at the kitchen table, buried in work, his expression strained, something she was beginning to recognize all too well. "Do you want to take a break? I thought we could watch a movie together," she offered, hoping to lift the tension between them. He sighed without looking up. "I can't right now. I need to finish this proposal for tomorrow. Maybe after?" Inside, Angela felt a familiar wave of disappointment wash over her. "Okay, but it feels like we're just passing each other by lately. Can we make more time for us?" A fleeting frustration passed across Daniel's face. "I know it seems that way, but this is just a busy season. We'll get back to where we were, I promise." His words felt like a lifeline, yet Angela's heart sank. Promises felt weighty and unfulfilled when they couldn't find moments to reconnect. She wanted to feel cherished, to explore the nuances of their love. Yet the busyness of life was consuming them both. Weeks turned into months as their paths continued to diverge. Despite the foundation they had built together, the weight of their individual stresses began to overshadow their relationship. Angela cherished their memories of growth, but in moments of reflection, she questioned if they were still on the same journey. One afternoon, while surrounded by canvases in her studio, Angela found herself lost in thought. She picked up her brush and began to paint, pouring her emotions onto the canvas, the bright colors swirling together, contrasting with the darker strokes representing her fears. It was a cathartic release, and she found herself reaching out to a part of her that longed for deeper connection. As she anxiously awaited Daniel's arrival that evening, the door swung open, and he stepped in, looking weary but still carrying a smile. "Hey, how was your day?" he asked, a hint of exhaustion lacing his words. Angela took a breath. "It was good, but I think we need to talk about what's been happening between us. I feel like we're drifting apart." He nodded, setting down his bag. "I've sensed the same. Work has been tough, and I feel overwhelmed. I hate that it's affecting us." Finding solace in each other's honesty, they explored their feelings openly. Silence sometimes filled the room, but with each admission, they slowly dismantled the walls built by their professional pressures. "What if we find ways to prioritize each other, even on busy days?" Angela suggested. "Maybe we could set a weekly date night, or find moments to check in even when life gets hectic." "I love that idea," Daniel replied wholeheartedly, his eyes lighting up. "We can make it a priority to connect, no matter what." From that day forward, they recommitted to their relationship, carving out time in their schedules for us. Even if it was just cooking dinner together or taking short walks during lunch breaks, these moments became small anchors amidst the chaos of life. As their connection deepened once again, Angela and Daniel found courage in vulnerability, learning that love thrives not just in the grand gestures, but in the little moments filled with intention and compassion. They embraced each other's imperfections and celebrated their achievements, keeping the flame of their love alive. Seasons changed, bringing new colors to their shared life together. As the winter months approached, Angela began working on a new collection of paintings, inspired by their journey, an art piece celebrating resilience, vulnerability, and love's endurance. Daniel encouraged her to share her work in a new exhibition while supporting her every step of the way. On the day of the exhibition, she stood nervously among her canvases, each painting echoing stories of growth and connection. Daniel's presence illuminated the room, offering affirmations that filled her with warmth and courage. The night was a success. People admired her work, each piece resonating with emotions deep within, reflecting her journey. When the evening began to wind down and the last guests mingled around, Daniel pulled Angela aside, his eyes glistening with pride. "You were incredible tonight. I'm in awe of your talent." Tears welled in her eyes. "Thank you for being my constant support. I couldn't have done it without you." As he wrapped his arms around her, she felt a rush of gratitude for the love they had nurtured through trials and challenges. In that moment, under the stars, Angela realized the journey of love was not just about avoiding obstacles, but about navigating them together, fostering deeper connections along the way. And in that shared embrace, She knew, above all, that they would continue to grow, evolve, and create a life full of love, each day a new stroke on the canvas of their story.